This conference will now be recorded.
Yesterday we have started with programs, right? So you guys practiced. Any questions? Errors? Must rani errors ravali. How many errors you get? That much, clear you will be. Hmm. Hmm. No problem. I can explain what are your issues. Okay. Chepan. What is the error you got? As is get type చేసిన డేటా ఉందా లొకేషన్ లో డేటా ఉంది లొకేషన్ లో ఏం ఎర్రర్ వచ్చింది చెప్పండి ఎక్సెల్ సేమ్ ఎర్రర్స్ వాట్ ఈస్ ఎర్రర్ read that error question mark symbol ఉందిగా you say question mark symbol right you have to delete that అప్పుడు ఈక్వల్ టు నుంచి డిలీట్ చేయాలి ఈక్వల్ టు నుంచి డిలీట్ చేయాలి ఈక్వల్ టు నుంచి డిలీట్ చేయాలి అప్పుడు ప్రాక్ ఇంపోర్ట్ డేటా ఫైల్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఇక్కడ కూడా క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్ సింబల్ ఉందిగా ముందులో ప్రాక్ ఇంపోర్ట్ కి సెమీకోలన్ ఇచ్చేసారు మీరు ఇవ్వకూడదుగా ప్రాక్ ఇంపోర్ట్ డేటా ఫైల్ ఈక్వల్ టు మొత్తం రాసి రీప్లేస్ రాసిన దాన్ని సెమీకోలన్ ఇచ్చి రన్ రాయాలి రాసినప్పుడు సెమీకోలన్ అవసరం లేదు అవసరం లేదు ఇప్పుడు ప్రాక్ ఇంపోర్ట్ డేటా ఫైల్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఇదంతా ఒకటే స్టేట్మెంట్ సో ఆ స్టేట్మెంట్కి వచ్చినప్పుడు మీరు ప్రాక్ ఇంపోర్ట్ ఒక లైన్లో డేటా ఫైల్ అని నెక్స్ట్ లైన్లో రాశారనుకోండి ప్రాక్ ఇంపోర్ట్ దగ్గర సెమీకోలన్ ఇవ్వక్కర్లేదు ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఎలా రాశారు చూడండి మీకు కూడా ఎలా రాశారు హౌ యూ హ్యావ్ రిటర్న్ దిస్ ఇస్ ఫస్ట్ లైన్ యూ హ్యావ్ రిటర్న్ ప్రాక్ ఇంపోర్ట్ after that again you have written data file equal to all this stuff correct but you have ended with a semicolon this should not end with semicolon you ended with semicolon this should not end with semicolon because in SAS if you want to write it in multiple lines you can do because single statement can be written in multiple lines but proc import to replace is one single statement you made it to two by adding a semicolon at a proc import ఇది కూడా సింగిల్ స్టేట్మెంటే this is also single statement I'll show you wait just a minute see I have to use proc import okay I'm using proc import correct to read data from notepad file to SAS proc import data file equal to I have to tell SAS location where my excel file is present so because I know the location I'm typing it dbms is equal to xlsx out equal to ds1 replace run this is one single statement correct this is replace run one single statement in your case what you have done you have written proc import and you have written data lines next statement here you ended with semicolon this should not happen okay this is not the way this is not the syntax if you run it here your system will throw ఇదిగోండి సేమ్ ఎర్రర్ అయినా మీకు వచ్చింది చూడండి అవును నేను బ్రేక్ చేయట్లేదు కదా లైన్ ఇప్పుడు మీరు డేటా రాశారు కదా డేటా డిఎస్ ఇన్ఫైల్ డేటా లైన్స్ ఇదంతా ఒక స్టేట్మెంట్ ఇదంతా ఒక స్టెప్ అవునా దిస్ ఇస్ వన్ స్టెప్ this is one step correct from proc to replace this is all one single step you should not break it from proc to from this start point to this end point this is all one single step from this start point to this end point this is all one single step you should not break it with semicolon okay na so మీరు డేటా డిఎస్ రాసినమంటే ప్రాక్ ప్రింట్ ప్రాక్ ఇంపోర్ట్ కూడా సెమీకోలన్ రాశారు సారీ data ds ఏం చేస్తుంది ఫస్ట్ it will create a empty data set ds infile data lens once your data set ds is created after that infile data lens will tell SAS to read data lens into your file ds It cannot be a single step. It is two different steps. Okay, right. Okay. So any other questions? Any other questions? Anyone practiced? Sorry? No problem. No problem. Initially, it will take time. After that, you will feel comfortable. So for another 2 to 3 days, you will feel some difficulties. Everybody, another 2 to 3 days, you will feel difficulties. After that, it will be very clear for you. Okay, another 2 to 3 days, because we just started programming. When we just started programming initially, you will have a lot of confusion. For sure, yes. This is particularly either the person is with from programming background, or he is zero in programming. Everybody initially has to struggle. So after I get into my bicycle, will I be able to ride it in one day? No, right? No, right? I should know how to handle it, how to balance myself. Once I was able to balance, I can drive for 1 kilometer, 10 kilometers, depending upon my energy levels. Yes or no? I can drive 1 hour, 10 kilometers, right? So, first of all, that balance should happen. Once that balance is there, okay, once that balance is there, so you can comfortably drive. Correct? Yes or no? Right. So here also, whenever we are writing a program, the balance is, I have to give semicolon at the end of data lines. At the each and every statement, I have to give semicolon. So I have to check whether it's program started with data, ended with run. So all these checkpoints I have to make. Okay, so after you are balanced with each and every statement, like if you are able to clearly understand what is required here, what we have done, later on, obviously, once you are clear what information we need to present, what we have to type here, so obviously later on you can write your program correctly. Yes or no? Yes or no? No worries here. Day one, no worries. Day two, no worries. Day seven, up to day seven, okay. After that, if you are not still understanding, it is an issue. Okay, no issues. And I don't see that, no worries. Everybody should be comfortable. Okay, right. So you guys are clear? Anyone tried writing a code? Everyone tried writing a code? Huh? So you guys are clear, yes or no? So you have any questions? You have any questions? Hmm. ఒక నిమిషం. కామాస్ అప్పుడే చేయకూడదు. కామాస్ అప్పుడే చేయకూడదు. దానికి డిఎల్ఎం ఇన్ఫైల్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఆప్షన్స్ వాడాలి. ఇన్ఫైల్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఆప్షన్స్ డిఎస్డి డిఎల్ఎం ఉంటాయి, అవి వాడాలి. అప్పుడే కాదు, నార్మల్ చేయండి. Okay, so if anyone has any questions, please don't hesitate, put your questions to me if any. మీకు ఏదైనా క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉంటే అసలు మొహమాట పడద్దు, అడగండి. ఐ కెన్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ఇట్. 1 time 10 times, ఎన్నిసార్లు అయినా అడగండి, ఎన్నిసార్లు అయినా చెప్తా. ఇప్పుడు చెప్పే అర్థం కాలేదు, అర్థం కాలేదని చెప్పండి, ఇంకో వే ఎతుకుతా. ఓకే, రైట్. బట్ బీ క్లియర్. Okay, fine. Next. So yesterday we all have known how to write a program in SAS. So if your data is present in notepad file, I used in file statement. If your data is present in Excel file, I used a technique of proc import, CSV file proc import, everything same, correct? So now after I create my data set, I wanted to store my data set permanently in SAS. After I have created, I wanted to store my data set permanently in SAS. If you want to store your data set permanently in SAS, what I have to do? I have to create a permanent library. Before this, any data set we create in SAS, so where the data set will store? Where the data set will store? Explorer window, libraries, work. Any data set we create in SAS, by default it will store in Explorer window, libraries, work. And we all know work library is a temporary library. Work library is a temporary library. What all the data sets that are stored in work library? These data sets are available until you close your SAS session. The moment you close your SAS session, all the data in work library will be automatically deleted. How many data sets we have? 1, 2, 10, 200, 20,000. How many data sets are there? Irrespective of number of data sets, all the data sets will be automatically deleted. Eppudu, the moment you close your SAS session. Okay. For example, this is my code. So this is my data set. For example, if I run my program, my data set DS is stored in work library. Okay. So work library is temporary library, right? So if I close my SAS session and if I open it again, in work library, can I see my data set? No, right? So if you wanted to save data sets permanently in SAS, we have to create a new library. So how to create a new library? Okay, how to create a new library? So how to create new library? First of all, go to Tools menu, click on New Library icon. Specify new library name. Specify new library name. So any good names, please? వినయ్ అనబడింది నాకు మీరే పేరు చెప్పారు అఖిల శ్రీకాంత్ ఓకే యాడ్ చేద్దాం రైట్ సో నౌ యూ సీ రైట్ ఐ గాట్ మై library name Vinay. Specify engine as default. Specify engine as default, nothing to change here. Click enable at startup. Click enable at startup. So what is the purpose we are creating this library? To store data sets permanently in SAS. So if you wanted to store any file in your system, you have to tell your system where to save that file, correct? So now browse. So if supposed to say this PC, D drive, supposed to say, Vinay is practicing, okay? So he wants to store all this information in one particular place, Vinay underscore practice. Is right? D drive Vinay underscore practice, okay, is the location. So if you click OK, you will be able to see a library with a name called Vinay. Enable. Click enable. After that, we have to give the location of the file, where to save that data sets. So you see, right? These are the 6 libraries that are default. While installing SAS, you will get the 6 libraries. Here you are creating a new library, Vinay. Okay, right. So whenever we are running a program in SAS, so if you run the program default, it will store in work library, correct? So if you want to store in this library Vinay, what to do? I have to write library name dot dataset name. What is your library name here? Vinay dot ds. Okay. So if you run the program, this data set, it will store in a library called Vinay. So if you run the program, you see, right, this data set ds is stored in a library Vinay. Correct? So now you have this library in, now you have this library, so now you have this data set in work library, at the same time in permanent library Vinay. If I close my SAS session and open it again, will I be able to get information from Vinay library, yes or no? Yes. That is the purpose we created it, correct? From work library? No. From work library, you cannot get it. From Vinay library, yes, we can get it. So this is method 1, how you create a library in SAS. Okay, method 1, how you create a library in SAS. Method 2, Raj, you have used, GUI method. This method we call it as GUI method. GUI stands for graphical user interface method. GUI stands for graphical user interface method. Right? Graphical user interface method. So here this is how it is. Next. Next one, if you wanted to create a library, you can see here we have to use libname statement. We have to use libname statement. So libname statement is one more method. If you wanted to create a library using programming method, I wanted to write a program and wanted to create a library. In this case, I have to use a statement called libname statement. So you can start your SAS program with libname statement also. So data step, proc step, so far we know. But at the same time, we can also use libname statement to start your program. So libname, after that, inko పేరేం చెప్పారు? Akilana, right? So you can see here, this is one library name, libname. After that, we have to give library name and where you wanted to store this information. So I wanted to store this information in D drive in a folder called Antena Akila underscore practice D drive. So right now this folder is empty. Okay. So if you run the program, you will see the library Akila. No need to write run statement. So if you run the program, which is in the library, clear? So this one is easy or GUI method is easy? This one is easy or GUI method is easy? Huh? A method easy ga undi? GUI method is easy or this method is easy? Right. So whatever the method you are comfortable, you can create. Okay. In a real-time scenarios, we use libname statement. In a real-time scenarios, we use libname statement. So whenever we are creating, note down this point. Whenever we are creating a library using libname statement, whenever you are creating a library using libname statement, okay, whenever we are creating a library using libname statement, the moment you close your SAS session, the moment you close your SAS session, it will automatically remove this library. It will automatically remove this library from Explorer window. It will remove this library automatically from Explorer window. But data is 100% safe. But data is 100% safe in Windows folder path. Data is 100% safe in Windows folder path. Ante D drive Akila practice undi kada. If you wanted to read this data again in SAS, if you wanted to read this data again in SAS, and whatever the information you have in Windows folder path, if you wanted to again read it into SAS, we still need to create this library again. We need to create this library again. See, right now I have created library Vinay using GUI method, and I have created a library Akila using libname method. So if I run the program, you see, right, this library Akila has a dataset DS. Correct? So whenever I say this information is stored in this library Akila, it means, okay, so at the back end in your system, you see, right, Akila underscore practice, you see this data set DS, right? Yes or no? I'm closing my SAS session now. Now, if you open SAS again, in libraries, you will not find library Akila. You will not be able to see this library Akila. But if you wanted to access the data set which you have stored previously, whenever I worked yesterday, I stored some information in this library, right? So if you wanted to access this again, you just need to, run this libname statement again. AKHILA, the drive, AKHILA underscore PRACT. This is what the library we created, right? So you got your data back. You got your data back, right? This is what the information we entered. Correct? So your data is 100% fine. Don't worry because the library is not displayed here. Don't think that your data is deleted. No, your data is 100% safe and secure. So in a real-time scenarios, why we use this libname statement? Raj, you said, right? GUI method is there, but libname is there. Both are there, correct? So underline this point. In my organization, there are 10,000 employees working, particularly on SAS. Global wide, if I take, it is more. Okay, so global wide, everybody across the globe will work on server only. So server will have lot of loads. Fine, forget about all that stuff. My point to be noted here is, suppose to say 10,000 employees are working in my organization. 10,000 SAS professionals are working. Everybody will work on only one project? No, we will work on at least 3 to 4 projects. If it is in a junior level, at least those guys also will work on 2 to 3 projects. On and all average, if I take 3 projects per person, everybody is creating his own library there. Okay, so 10,000 into 3, how much libraries you will have? 30,000 libraries you will have. Correct. So 30,000 libraries, if you see in Explorer window, from that 30,000, can you identify yours and your library and get the data? Huh? 30,000 low, you can you get your identify your own library and get the data? Suppose to say Raj underscore project one. Somebody also will create a library with same name, Raj underscore project one. Data will be overwritten, right? So there is a chance, right? Data will be overwritten, right? So just to overcome this, and that too, your server will be filled with a lot of issue. Your SAS server will be filled with a lot of data sets. Again, when our space is increased, server load is increased on server, performance will go down. Performance will go down. So now you see, right, libname, whenever we are creating a library using libname, okay, what happens is you can see it will temporarily create the variable. It will temporarily create the library here. Okay, all 10,000 employees will not work in same time zone, right? Different time zones, right? Even though they are working for their study, they will be visible here. Rest others will not be there. Okay, so if you see here, this library, they will temporarily create it. The moment you close, automatically it will be deleted. So, but backend, your data is 100% secure, right? So in a real-time scenarios, whenever you are trying to read data, they use this libname statement to read data into SAS. Got it? Yes or no? Right. So what is the purpose why they use this also? You can see it, right? One second. So libname అయినా వాడింది ఇక్కడ. You see, right? Libname అయినా. This is a project, SDTM project data. You see, right? This is what we are going to study. Do it. So initially we will write this information: study number, data set name, what is the input data set you are using for this analysis, output data set, version of SAS, when did you start writing this code, what are the data sets used, program name, you see, right? Lib name. So yes, ఎవరు చేశారు, like who worked on this, so other name will also be there. Okay, right. what is the input, what is the output. You will get a complete picture about that data set. So real-time scenarios will do this way coding. Okay, we are using libname statement, right? Correct, yes or no? Right. So there are two ways to create libraries in SAS. One is GUI method, other one is libname statement. So I want to read this note. Everyone read this note once. I explained it, but still if you are reading it, it goes to your mind. Clear? Okay, fine. Data step process. Whenever we are submitting a program in SAS, SAS at the backend, how it will analyze your data, how it will read data into corresponding columns. So when the data step is submit for execution, SAS first of all it will undergo syntax checks. So if you have any syntax checks or no, that is what it will check. And if there are no errors, then it will start compiling data. It will start reading into your variables. When executing the data step for in-stream, SAS at the backend, it will follow, at the backend, it will create three following items. So first one, input buffer. Second one, PDB, program data vector. Third one, descriptor information. Okay, descriptor information. So input buffer is nothing but RAM. Suppose to say, I am writing a code. Suppose to say this is my program. I forgot to give a semicolon here. At the same time, this guy is a posh guy. Whenever I asked the salary, he said 98K. So whenever your variable is defined as numeric data type, this variable will not allow alphabets, special characters. Even combination of alpha numeric also it will not read. Okay, right. So here in SAS, we have two types of errors. First one, I have a data issue. Second one, I have a syntax issue. So rules, right? If you are not following rules, it is a syntax, right? So if you run the program, SAS, first of all, it will undergo syntax check. So if you run the program, you see, right? So it's right expecting a semicolon at the end of the statement. Before 101, it is expecting a semicolon. And once your syntax is ready, then it will start reading your data. You see, right? So here it says invalid data. Okay, right. So if suppose to say if I write 98,000, it will read all the data. Whenever SAS is reading these values, whenever SAS is reading the values, at the back end, SAS will create two automatic variables called underscore n underscore error underscore. Along these variables, along with these variables, SAS at the backend it will create two automatic variables called underscore n underscore error underscore. Whenever you are reading first record into this corresponding columns, so your underscore n underscore will become 1. And is there any error in this record? Is there any error in this record? No. So it will read all the data properly. So underline this point, underscore error underscore will take the value either 0 or 1. 0 represents no error. 0 represents no error. And 102 Shri 24 female. It is reading second record. So it will add +1. Every time you are reading a record, it will add +1 to existing value. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So here underscore error underscore is 0. Suppose to say in place of 50,000, this guy replied it as a 50K. So it will read a third record. So do I have an error in this record, yes or no? Yes. So in this case, if you have error, what value it will show? 1. 56K. So it will read fourth record. So it will show the value as 1 or 2. It will show only 1 because 0 or 1. 0 represents there is no error. 1 represents there is an error. Okay, 0 represents no error. 1 represents there is an error. So these two variables will be created at the back end. SAS automatically it will create these two variables at the back end. Clear? So you see, right, this entire concept we call it as PDV. PDV stands for program data vector. Also make a note that in SAS we have two types of errors. In SAS we have two types of errors. First one, syntax error. First one, syntax error, also called as program error. Syntax error, also called as program error. Syntax error, also called as program error. Second one, sorry, not second one. Syntax error, also called as program error. Syntax errors are always displayed in dark red color. Syntax errors are always displayed in dark red color. Syntax errors are always displayed in dark red color. Okay, next, second one, data error, also called as logical error. Data error, also called as logical error. Data error, also called as logical error. Right, data errors are also called as logical errors. Data errors are always displayed with a text called invalid data. Data errors are always displayed with a text called invalid data. Data errors are always displayed with a text called invalid data. Inside bracket blue color text. Okay, so data errors are always displayed with a text called invalid data for variable so and so. Is this clear? Is this clear? Right. Next. Right. And finally, descriptor information. So whenever we are creating a data set in SAS, whenever we are creating a data set in SAS at the back end, it will store complete information about that data set. SAS at the back end, it will store complete information about the data set. So if you wanted to see that information, I have to use a procedure called proc contents. If you run this program, you see, right, you'll get, so when your data set is created, when it is modified, So what is the engine? Member type is data. Did I protect my SAS data set? Did I apply any protection? No, right? So how to protect your SAS data set? And did I specify any specific data type? Nothing. It is null. Label. Did I give any label to my data set? No. How to give label? So how to give a how to protect your SAS data set? How to give label? We will see in upcoming sessions. And observation length. One second. Tuk, 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 tuk. Is right observation length. So total how many observations are there? 4 observations. How many variables are there? 5 variables. So underline this point. In SAS by default we will be able to store 8 characters. SAS by default we will be able to store 8 characters. So in one variable I can store 8 characters. Total how many variables are there? 5 variables are there. 5 8s are 40. 40 is your observation length. And indexes it is 0, not required, deleted. I did not delete any observations. I did not compress, I did not sort my data set. And this is your data set page size. So maximum in SAS in one page we can store 1632 observations as one page. This is all not required. And you see, right, because you have stored this information in work library, so it is presented in temp folder. You see, work library is temporary library, and these are list of variables and their attributes. So variables in alphabetical order. So variable type, length, name. Clear it everyone, yes or no? Clear it everyone, yes or no? Right. So this is how it works. So this complete information will be stored by SAS at the backend. If you wanted to see that, I can use a procedure called proc contents. Right. So we'll stop this here for today. Tomorrow we will start with data step. Not tomorrow, Monday. We'll start with the data step. What is a data step? What is a proc step? Huh? Uh, uh. వెళ్తుందిగా చూపిస్తుందిగా ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ టు సే ఇప్పుడు ఇదే డేటా ఉంది సపోజ్ టు సే ఓకే suppose to say this is my data. I have given a semicolon here. So if I run the program SAS at the backend, it will show that error. See, అదే క్రియేట్ అవుతుంది చూపిస్తాను చూడండి ఇదిగోండి సో అండర్స్కోర్ అండ్ అండర్స్కోర్ error underscore is coming to picture. So it will make you understand in row number 3 I have an issue for variable cell. In third record I have an issue for variable cell. In fourth record I have an issue for variable cell. So with this underscore and underscore I can understand how many record is having a issue for which variable. Okay, clear, right? Okay, so that's all for today guys. Maybe Monday we'll start freshly with the data step part. What is a data step, what is a proc step, we will see Monday. Okay, so far everyone clear, yes or no? Arey yaar, if you respond then
Sir,
only I will understand here.
Yes, sir.
sir, can you please repeat that last proc content?
The proc content procedure is used to display the information which your SAS is collecting about a data set. Okay, SAS maintains information about all the data sets which is created. So if you wanted to see that information, I have to run the procedure proc contents and it will give complete information about the data set, where your data set is stored, where when it is created, when it is modified, how many variables are there, how many observations are there, what are the variables, what are their types, attributes, all this stuff you can see. With this procedure you
Oh,
will be able to see all this. Okay,
okay, sir. Thank you.
yeah, good. Okay, that's all for today guys. Thank you, bye, happy weekend.
Happy weekend, sir.
Bye guys.